was never an underdog. It chose small displacement bikes, and now it's scaling up with intent. The clearest sign? Royal Enfield's new Himalayan 450 landing with liquid cooling, ride-by-wire, and real off-road geometry at a price that squeezes Japan's ADV 300 to 500 class. And there's a rumor will pay off later. A Himalayan 650 that could blindside the V-Strom/CB 500X crowd. Here's the theme. 10 India-built bikes, backed by serious alliances, that pressure Japan on price, tech, and reach. Watch the torquey curves, electronics, and dealer networks. Look for Bajaj Triumph, TVS BMW, Hero-Harley fingerprints everywhere. One bike near the end flips ADV assumptions. Stay to see the pattern connecting torque, weight, and pricing. Let's start our countdown to better understand what all is about. Number 10. Bajaj Pulsar N250. Built in India using KTM-influenced processes, the Pulsar N250 is a straightforward mid-range commuter tourer that leans on early torque and low running costs. It outmuscles Honda's CB 300F/CBF 190R on torque per dollar while tapping into Bajaj's massive service reach. The 249 cubic centimeter oil-cooled single is tuned for the meat of the revs, so loaded rides need fewer downshifts, and the wet weight in the low 160s kilograms keeps it easy to manage. You get a slipper clutch, full LED lighting, and simple, clear instrumentation with real-world economy of 35 to 40 kilometers per liter and an indicated 130 to 135 kilometers per hour up top. On price, it's positioned as an easy buy, roughly 1.9 to 2.2 thousand equivalent before local taxes. What matters here is the ownership experience. Cheap consumables, friendly maintenance, and parts everywhere. Pattern: usable grunt, low cost, big reach. Number 9. TVS Apache RR 310. The Apache RR 310 blends German-guided engineering with Indian value, often undercutting the Yamaha R3 on electronics per dollar while offering features you actually feel on the road. Ride-by-wire, ride modes, a connected TFT, and a slipper clutch. Its 312 cubic centimeters single pulls cleanly to an indicated 150 to 160 kilometers per hour, and the mid-170s kilograms wet weight, depending on trim, keeps it planted without tiring you out. Later updates improved fueling and heat management, and shared logistics with the BMW G310R/GS help parts flow. Pricing typically sits around $3.3 to $3.7 thousand equivalent, depending on kits, keeping it attractive next to twin-cylinder rivals. Yes, a few owners have seen minor sensor niggles, but service response has improved. The result is a tech-forward sport single with credible reliability and everyday usability. Number 8. KTM 390 Duke. Bajaj KTM Alliance manufactures the latest 390 Duke, is a featherweight brawler that outpoints Kawasaki's Z400 on power-to-weight and electronics at its price, thanks to cornering ABS, traction control, a crisp TFT, and an optional quick shifter. A lighter, stiffer frame pairs with the revised 398 cubic centimeters single for stronger mid-range shove, while a wet weight in the low to mid 160 kilograms keeps the bike playful and precise. Expect an indicated 165 to 175 kilometers per hour up top, 25 to 30 kilometers per liter if you ride gently, and improved heat management, though it can still feel warm in slow traffic. Lists around $5.9 to $6.5 thousand depending on market taxes. Maintenance is reasonable with attentive valve checks. As a weekend ripper that can stretch to light touring, the seat height is manageable, and shorter riders might find the Speed 400's triangle friendlier. Pattern: lighter weight, richer electronics, torque first feel versus bare Japanese rivals. Number 7. Triumph Speed 400. The Bajaj Triumph Alliance built the Speed 400, a motorcycle that feels premium where it counts. Paint, touch points, and the way it pulls from low revs, beating Honda's CB 300R and even the CB 500F on finish per dollar, low RPM torquey feel, and kit. Its 398 cubic centimeters liquid-cooled single delivers early shove that makes city hops, and 90 to 110 kilometers per hour cruising feel unhurried, with a wet weight in the mid-170s kilograms that keeps it steady without feeling heavy. Ride-by-wire, switchable traction control, dual-channel ABS, and a tidy analog digital display bring modern confidence, while economy lands around 28 to 33 kilometers per liter, and top speed show 150 to 160 kilometers per hour indicated. Pricing underlines the value, typically $4.9 to $5.2 thousand in many markets. Back it with Bajaj's dealer reach, plush suspension, and slick fueling, and you've got a calm, capable, everyday roadster that undercuts many Japanese. Number 6. Triumph Scrambler 400X. Sharing the Speed's 400's platform but tuned for mixed surfaces, the Scrambler 400X adds longer suspension travel, a 19-inch front wheel, wider bars, extra ground clearance, and factory guards. It offers stronger value than Yamaha's MT-03 and even nudges into Versys X300 territory, with a slightly higher weight and seat height than the Speed, translating to more stability off the slab. Ride-by-wire, disableable traction control, and predictable fueling make it easy to trust on loose surfaces. Typical pricing sits a notch above the Speed, around $5.4 to $5.8 thousand, which is still aggressive for the kit. It cruises 100 to 115 kilometers per hour without stress, tops out a tad lower than the Speed, and doubles as a calm commuter that doesn't flinch when the pavement ends, helped by a growing accessories and dealer footprint. Number 5. Hero Mavrick 440, developed from the X440 program. The Mavrick 440 brings a long stroke thump and easy roll-on that outresponds Honda's HNES/CB350 and even the RE Classic, while beating the Rebel 300 on displacement and price in many markets. Its torquey single settles into a relaxed rhythm. The wet weight in the high 180s to low 190s kilograms makes it feel planted, and the electronics stay simple with an optional connected dash. Expect an indicated 130 to 140 kilometers per hour up top, calmer vibes from better counterbalancing, tidy fueling, and suspension that keeps its line on rough city stretches. Pricing is another hook, around $2 to $2.4 thousand. As a city-to-highway tool, it leans on Hero's wide service network and affordable consumables to keep ownership costs sensible. Number 4. Hero-Harley-Davidson X440. The X440 sells a dream at a practical price. Harley brand pulls with a sturdy Indian-built single that makes easy low-rev torque. Against the Kawasaki Eliminator 400 and Honda Rebel 300, it wins on name recognition and torque per dollar. The air oil-cooled motor carries a heavy flywheel feel that suits relaxed cruising, and around approximately 190+ kilograms wet, it feels stable rather than bulky. A connected TFT, full LED lighting, and sensible ergonomics keep it friendly day to day. Typical ex-showroom India pricing lands around $3,000 to $3,400, putting the Harley badge within reach. It shows mid-130 kilometers per hour indicated, but feels most content between 90 to 110 kilometers per hour. Simple, serviceable, and steady. Hero's dealer reach multiplies the value, and the Harley badge helps resale. Pattern, brand leverage plus Indian scale. Number 3. Royal Enfield Interceptor INT650. The Interceptor wins hearts by doing the simple things well: price, character, and easy living, often beating Honda's CB500F on cost and feel and undercutting the Kawasaki W800 on affordability. Its 648 cubic centimeters parallel twin makes wide, linear torque that's effortless at real-world speeds, with a wet weight in the low to mid-200s 10 kilograms that feels stable without being clumsy. You get ABS, USB charging, and improved switchgear and brakes, but no ride modes, and you don't really miss them. Expect an indicated 170 to 180 kilometers per hour, easy 110 to 120 kilometers per hour cruising, mid-20s to low 30s kilometers per liter economy, and straightforward valve checks. The price keeps it compelling, commonly $6.5 to $6.9 thousand in global markets, while accessories and dealers are abundant. Number 2. Royal Enfield Continental GT650. Sharing the Interceptor's twin but aimed at a cafe mission, the Continental GT650 trades upright ease for a more focused stance, clip-ons, a stretched tank, and rear seats, delivering vibe per dollar that can embarrass Yamaha's XSR 700 and character per dollar that nips at the Kawasaki Z650. Updated suspension and tires sharpen feel, and braking improves with better calipers and pads. Curb weight sits near the Interceptor, but a tuck helps it run a touch higher on top speed. You still get USB and refined fueling, with minimal rider-led tech. Expect pricing in the same band as the Interceptor, roughly $6.7 to $7.1 thousand depending on market. So adding a comfort seat, small screen, and risers makes sense for 400 to 600 kilometers days. The tractable twin and long gearing sit happily at 120 kilometers per hour without buzz, and parts-stashed service access is broad. And we have reached the number one, the Royal Enfield Himalayan 450. The Himalayan 450 is the tech leap that shakes up the adventure 300 to 500 space, out-torquing Versys X 300 and V-Strom 250 on value, and even pressuring the CB 500X in electronics and geometry. Its liquid-cooled single with ride-by-wire is tuned for steady pull, feeding a nav-ready TFT and a Sherpa mode that makes slow, technical sections easier. With a 21-inch front and 17-inch rear wheels, a stiffer chassis, and stand-friendly ergonomics, it feels composed off-road while carrying its mid-195 kilograms wet weight low. Expect an indicated high 100s 40s to low 100s 50s kilometers per hour up top, refined fueling, controlled heat, and altitude-friendly EFI that keeps performance consistent. It typically opens around $5.9 to $6.5 thousand. At 110 to 120 kilometers per hour, it sits calm and unflustered, backed by a big accessories ecosystem. Here's the pattern nobody's been watching closely enough. Alliances import high-end engineering while Indian scale crushes costs. So electronics that used to be optional luxuries, ride-by-wire, TFTS with nav, traction control, cornering ABS, now show up at mid-tier prices. Reliability shifted because QA matured. UK tech centers, German and British pipelines, and global suppliers tightened tolerances. And owner data from exports backs it. Service networks are expanding fast. Bajaj Triumph, TVS BMW, Hero-Harley, and Royal Enfield are building dealer density, and parts pipelines in markets where some Japanese midweights feel undersupported. Price to experience is the clincher. Characterful engines with usable torque at real-world speeds feel better than peak power you rarely touch. And 2026 is the inflection. Triumph's 400 family grows. TVS moves the 310 platform into ADV. Royal Enfield keeps refining twins and accessories, and Hero leans on X440 learnings. Japan still makes great bikes, but the old value ladder got rebuilt from the bottom up by India. In conclusion, that's the shift. Alliances deliver premium engineering while Indian scale packs torque, electronics, and service reach into prices. Japan struggles to match between 300 and 700 cubic centimeters. If you want straighter rider-focused comparisons, drop a comment with the matchup you want next. Don't forget to subscribe.